I've had a bit of a contentious relationship with Range Rover in the past, and to be perfectly honest, if you'd asked me 3 or 4 years ago if I'd ever buy one, the answer would almost certainly be no. From spotty reliability to strange ergonomics, Range Rovers never quite sat right with me. That, or it could be that all the Range Rovers I see in Los Angeles look like this, or this, but mostly like this. They are driven by people who look like this, to places that look like this, and they will never ever be used like this. However, only 4 times in the last 45 years has Range Rover launched an all-new model, and only 1 out of those 4 times was I invited to drive it in the beautiful wilderness of the high desert. So yes, I accepted their flight over the Grand Canyon. Yes, I accepted the chauffeured parade of Range Rovers to the Amanjiri Resort, where yes, I accepted the nicest hotel room I've ever slept in. And yes, I accepted a key fob which gave me access to a $114,000 Supercharged Range Rover for an entire day, both on and off the tarmac. I know what you're thinking, but please don't thank me. I did it for you.
The Range Rover has always been one of those cars where it's immensely capable yet rarely used. They can go anywhere, do anything. They're incredibly over-engineered for whatever task you might throw at it, and yet you see them cruising the shopping malls of Beverly Hills, running around Greenwich, Connecticut, and of course overpopulating the island of Manhattan. Granted, this is sort of an all-purpose vehicle. It's a luxury car, it's an SUV, it's an off-roader, it's utilitarian, and it's fast. We're driving the Supercharged model, 510 horsepower, 5-liter V8 blown, 461 pound-feet of torque, and moving around a car that is 700 pounds lighter than the outgoing model due to the aluminum construction.
The new Range Rover's unibody is the largest piece of aluminum in all of cars, and weighs 51 pounds less than the unibody on the BMW 3 Series. But despite weight savings, the Range Rover comes in at a Romanesque 5,000 pounds. But if you want a car with everything, it can't also be a lightweight.
The key to this car is attention to detail, luxury, as much luxury as you could ever look for, capability, and technology, and it is full of all of these things. The Nav System screen is pretty basic, but it works. It's very clear in its directions. Pretty easy to use, very intuitive. We haven't had any issues with it yet. The radio is unbelievable. There are 3 options. There's a bass, 375 watt. We have the 19 speaker, 875 watt system, which is actually the middle one. You can get a 29 speaker, 1700 watt stereo as an option in this car from Meridian. And I haven't even heard that one yet, but this one sounds crazy good and has infinitely configurable. No reason to go aftermarket with the radio in this car.
I ended up hearing the 29 speaker frame integrated stereo later that night and not hearing a thing for the following 3 days. But the stereo isn't the only impressive thing inside the Range Rover's low carbon leather covered cabin.
The dash and the center console are a lot cleaner than you'd remember before. There used to be a lot of buttons and toggles for different modes. A lot of that has been moved to this one little panel here or into the MMI system. And the steering wheel, without even moving my hands, here's the list of things I can do on the steering wheel. Headlights, wipers, both automatic, blinkers, shift paddles up and down. It does rev match downshifts with the 8-speed transmission. I can adjust the stereo, I can set the cruise control, heated steering wheel, talk on the phone, voice commands, surf through modes, all available without moving my hands from 9 and 3 at all.
On the outside, it's been smoothed, sculpted, and most importantly, still doesn't seat 7, as entering a 3rd row isn't couth. The styling has evolved and been given a fine backside but a Ford Explorer's nose.
Interesting tidbit, the reason this car looks like an Explorer from the front is because the current Explorer and this car have the same designer.
Grill aside, I like how it looks. The proportions, the lines, the stance are all classic Range Rover stuff.
Things I don't like about it, the puck shifter right out of a Jaguar I don't love it. In the XKR, I liked it because the cockpit was small and it freed up some room. But this is a big, spacious cockpit, and it's a truck. I kind of want a truck shifter. I want somewhere to put my hand here, and the puck doesn't really do it for me. On the other hand, I do have paddles. I'm in sport mode, so let's go down to 3 downshifts to 5th and mat it. It goes good. There's 90. There's 100. There's 110. There's 120. Of course, this is a completely closed road. I have police officers on either side of it, so that was 100% legal.
Having learned that 510 horsepower is in fact sufficient, my cameraman decided that maybe we should focus on technology rather than outright speed.
We have auto park in here, don't we? Yes, we have park assist right there. It has adaptive cruise control, which will bring you all the way to a stop and then start again if you're in traffic. The steering feel, it's okay. It's what you'd want out of a truck. It's light. It's you do get some feedback from the road. 21-inch wheels and tires certainly help with that. But it's not, you don't need a Range Rover steering to be precise like a BMW. It's got active anti-roll control, so when you huck it into a corner, it will actually stick pretty good, and a lot less body roll than the last one. Overall, though, just a phenomenal place to be.
Having approved the Range Rover's credentials as a luxury tourer, we turned off the pavement, raised our suspensions, entered low range, and hit the trail. The Range Rover has probably the most advanced consumer off-roading setup ever built, designed for one purpose: to get the passengers anywhere they need to go in safety and in comfort while protecting the hardware. Its entire hood acts as an airbox so the Range Rover can ford 3 feet of water. It has a class-leading 23.5 inches of wheel travel from its air suspension. Its traction control system can automatically detect and respond to changes in the terrain, or can be preset for the prevailing conditions and become a proactive partner. Whether traversing rocky trails, muddy roads, snow, sand, or even simple wet roads, the Range Rover's computers can read what's happening and adjust accordingly in real time.
Let's crawl some things, some more things. There we go. So far, ridiculously impressive, climbing walls, ridges, stairs, and that. 20-inch wheels, unbelievable. All-season tires, for that matter. So we're gonna go climb this sandy, very steep hill right now. Ready? Here we go.
Go! Now turn! Gentle. Turn.
That's what I'm talking about. Come on, yeah, buddy. That's what 100 grand looks like crawling up a hill right there. Kanye ain't never doing this in his Range Rover.
I can understand now why the true die-hard Land Rover enthusiasts love the brand so much. Sure, there are other off-roaders that can get you where you need to go. Hell, a Jeep Rubicon with a much simpler, old-school setup could get you through all this terrain. But it's not about sheer capability. It's about finding a harmony between capability, luxury, style, fit, finish, and speed. And with the 4th generation Range Rover, they have succeeded impeccably. After a full day's off-roading, I wasn't beat up at all.
I understand why rich people buy these things, because this is a really great, comfortable, beautiful riding car. Build quality is just stellar. The Supercharged model we're driving starts at $99,000. As tested, it's $114,000. You can spec these things up well over $150 if you're doing the autobiography edition, which you get the crazy center console in the back. But I get why people buy these things, because they are just beautiful and wonderful in operation, whether you're on the street or off-road. That's all I have to say about that.